Welcome out to the show now, guys. Studio 321. This is your host, Eddie B. So, the economic grind in America right now. Everybody watches the news. We know the stock market's at an all-time high. Inflation is coming down pretty low, but the regular folks are not actually feeling the good results from this stuff. Okay. And I wanted to touch on that a little bit tonight. And I'm going to talk to you about what's going on in the area that I live. A lot of people that know me know I'm in the Central Florida area. That's why we call it Studio 321. And I'm in the bar business. I meet hundreds of people a week. I talk to a lot of people all the time. And there's one thing that always comes up, about the economic hard times right now. And I'm going to get into that. But first, guys, if you like my video, please like and subscribe. It really helps spread the word. It helps spread my channel. It's free. Just smash that subscribe button, and then whenever I do new videos, it'll send it to your YouTube feed. But anyways, guys, so let's get into it. So the economic grind, right? I talk to people every week at my job. I'm in the bar business. I've been in the business for over 30 years. I know tons of people in the Central Florida area. And, in my area, we do pretty well, okay? Kind of middle class working area. But there is a lot of uncertainty right now. And here's the thing, right? Again, you look at the stock market, they're at all-time highs. You see that every day on the news. Inflation's down. I think it's like 2.8% right now. That's great news. But the key to all of this for normal working folks is the interest rates, okay? Now, you probably say, well, why is that? Because I don't have a home loan, or I don't have this, I don't have that, but I'm going to tell you why. So I talk to a lot of realtors, okay? And I have a side business as well. I do some industrial cleaning for a lot of big companies, a lot of restaurants, stuff like that. So I talk to a lot of owners all the time. And every time I see these people, I'm always asking them, how's business, how's things, how's this, how's that? Because I'm a curious guy, and I'm in business as well. And they're all saying the same thing. It's been very slow. We're still getting a lot of people in the door. They're just not spending the money that they used to spend. And that hits the nail on the head, because in my business, the bar business, that's exactly what's going on. On a Friday night, my bar can be packed from, wall to wall. And I'm looking at the numbers and I'm going, no, this doesn't match. But when you dive deep into it, what you really see is people still want to go out and have fun. They still want to show up. But instead of, bringing, say, $50 to spend or $100 to spend, they bring half. So if they were going to have 3 or 4 drinks, now they're only having 1 or 2. You know what I mean? And that really, what that shows you is people, they're reluctant to spend money because of uncertainty is one. And second of all, right now, they just don't have the money to spend, but they still need to go out and have some fun, blow off some steam, right? And I see that weekly right now. And I think everybody's in that same situation. And again, in the area I'm in Central Florida, it's a pretty good area. There's a lot of industry and stuff, but we're affected by this. So I would imagine that some of the areas that are not as well-to-do as my area are suffering a lot worse. Okay. Again, I'm in the bar business. It's a fun place to hang out. I meet tons of people, a lot of builders, a lot of realtors, a lot of business people. The realtors are telling me that, obviously the houses aren't selling because nobody wants to take a home loan at these crazy interest rates, okay? And what's funny about that is I know personally about a half dozen people who are waiting for the interest rates to come down so they can refi their homes. Now, what happened there is these are people who bought homes during the Biden era where, interest rates were 6.5%. And that's insane, right? Sometimes people don't have a choice. They move into the area, they do whatever they have to buy at that time. So they bite the bullet, they buy under a ridiculous interest rate. I was talking to one friend, and he's waiting, and he said that when he gets a refi at, say, around 4%, it'll drop his mortgage $1,500 a month. He's waiting on that, and I know there's a lot of people waiting on that. I mean, I've talked to people a lot about this. So you got that, right? You got the refis. A lot of that'll directly help, homeowners. You can refi. I mean, imagine another $1,500 a month in your pocket just by doing a refi. That's big money, right? Okay, small business loans. That's another thing. Who right now is going to take a small business loan at these ridiculous interest rates? You're not. And guys, small businesses, that's what makes all these cities and towns around the country. That is. All these small businesses get loans so they can employ more people, they can expand, they can, do whatever, move to a different location. They're not going to do that right now. So that's in a holding pattern as well. But honestly, in my mind, the two biggest things affected in my area is, number one, the realtors and the builders, okay? The building of homes right now in this area has slowed almost to a halt. And that's because, people can't afford to take the loan out to buy the home. And the builders know that. If you built 50 tract homes right now in a brand new neighborhood, you're not gonna fill those up. And these builders, they want to get their money when the job is done, because then they can move on to other projects. They don't want to sit on this neighborhood for a year trying to sell it, right? Because then the money's tied up. They're really stuck there until it's done. And also the realtors, man. The realtors, that's all ground to a halt. Now, I know some people that are making money, doing a little bit of flipping, but not a lot either on that, because the houses aren't selling. I know the guys that are doing home remodels, those guys are doing okay right now, because a lot of people, rather than buying new homes, they're remodeling the ones they live in now, okay? But overall, the big money sectors of the industry around here have kind of ground to a halt. And it's really just a waiting pattern. And everybody says the same thing. They're just waiting on interest rates to come down. That's going to free up home loans, which is going to free up money for a lot of regular people. It's going to free up the realtors. They're going to be making money again. And realtors, they love to go out and spend money. They do. They're flashy people. They like to have fun. Small business owners, same thing. They employ people. I mean, they need that money, but they're not going to take it at these interest rates right now. So it really, and again, the whole construction industry, top to bottom. Like I said, there's some money right now in rehabbing and stuff, but overall, the building industry right now has slowed down around the country, because there's no need to build something if somebody can't afford to buy it, right? So, I got my fingers crossed, man. We got like a week to go. I think it's on the 16th. Don't quote me on that, but I know Jerome Powell's they're gonna talk this month. If they start making rate cuts, it's going to be a beautiful thing, man. That's going to like I feel like the country's like holding its breath almost. And it's going to be a big sigh of relief. I know that the stock market, as soon as they announce rates cuts, the stock market's going to go to the sky. And it's already there's already record stock numbers right now, but it's going to take off as soon as they start doing rate cuts. I think that's going to help. I don't think it's going to bring the inflation down anymore, but it doesn't really need to. 2.8, that's not bad. You know what I'm saying? It's not a bad rate. But we got to get those interest rates down, man, because that's the stuff that affects the normal people. It's really is a trickle down effect. I see it in my business all the time, because I know a lot of the people who come in to my business who normally spend lots and lots of money, in the building, in the roofing, in the real estate and stuff like that. Small business owners, they're holding on to that money right now, and they're just waiting. So, man, come on, Jerome. We got to get this done. You know what I mean? Put the politics aside. We got to get this country grinding, man. I think we're like a ship on the launch pad, just waiting to take off right now. There's a lot of stuff that Trump's been doing around the country. I see what he's doing. He's trying to set the stage, and a lot of times when you're setting the stage for something, it kind of hurts you, right? He's setting the stage for takeoff, and I believe that the rate cuts, the interest rate cuts, are going to be the fuel for that fire, which is gonna, it's gonna rocket our economy. So, come on, guys, let's get it done. America's waiting on you. Come on, Trump, and come on, Jerome. Let's get it done. You guys have a good night. This is Eddie from Studio 321. I'll talk to you soon.